My levels good. 10, 10, 10, 9, 9, 9, 8, 8, 8, 7, 7, 7, 6, 6, 6, 5, 5, 5. What's after 5? Oh, damn.
Man, that's too white, man. You can't be like 10. You gotta do your shit like this. Do your mic check like, yo, 1, 2. You gotta keep saying 1, 2. 1. I don't know why they never get past 1, 2. But you gotta keep like 1, 2. Yo, turn my shit up. Yo, 1, 2. Your shit could be already up, but you want to turn it upper. Yo, turn my shit up, son.
He just said upper. If y'all didn't know, this is my man Donnell Rawlings. What's good, my dude?
What's going on? How's it going?
I'm good, man. So I hope you guys do know, but if not, let me re-up you right now so you know what's going on. This dude's been doing comedy for a minute right now, and a lot of you know him from doing stand-up, and also this little show, this itty-bitty show.
My new show didn't really impress pop culture or anything like that. Some people, I think it sold like about 4 million DVDs, but not bragging or anything like that because I didn't have anything to do with that. But some people know about it. It's Chizzle.
Mike Champion Show. Right?
Yeah, the Mike Champion Show, exactly. With featured artist, Kool Mo D was one of the top performers on one of the shows.
What happened to Kool Mo D? I like the wraparound glasses. What's good, my dude? But it's Donnell from the Chappelle Show. Y'all know that too. But let me get back right now into the comedy. How did the whole comedy start for you?
Is this a black or a white show? I gotta figure out how to position my hat.
It's both. We got white person in the room. White person say, ah.
I love it, man. So for any white question you want to ask me, my hair be square. My hat will be square like this. But then if you ask me any black questions, I'm gonna flip my shit like this. Know what I mean? So I'm saying just, that's what you need.
See, the whole persona change. The nah-mean came out. The black part came out. So tell me, black, how'd you get into the stand-up comedy, man?
Well, I used to, I'm originally from Washington, D.C., and I used to be like head of security for like this grocery chain in D.C. And all the people that worked there every Wednesday would go to like open mic comedy showcase. And they invited me down because they knew I was funny, but nobody like pushed me into it. And I became a heckler. I was like the asshole guy. You got to get drunk in the back. And I got so good at being a heckler that I started drawing an audience of people that wanted to come see me fuck up other comics' careers. This is a true story. Then the owner didn't know what to do with me, so he was like, okay, you're funny from your seat, so why don't you give it a shot? And I went on stage after being nervous for 2 weeks. I drunk. This is when Schlitz Small Liquor Bull was popping. It was Schlitz, and it was Coke 45, and it was OE. And I did like a 6-pack of Schlitz Small Liquor Bull, went on stage, and I ripped the shit, and the rest is I've been a comic ever since then.
Wow, that's how long you been in the whole game right here?
My publicist told me that I'm not allowed to say any time frames or anything like that. But I would say I've been in long enough to be seasoned.
Seasoned. So how did you even get into the Chappelle Show, man? How'd that even come about?
It was the white man.
Always the white man. They're behind everything.
Not always a white man, but a lot of people think my relationship with the show is because of Dave Chappelle, because Dave's black and I'm black. But Dave's writing partner and co-executive producer of the show, Neil Brennan, he was doing auditions. He was like a PA for In Living Color. He was doing auditions, and he thought I was funny then. And like 7 years later, he had 7 or 8 years later, he had wrote this script, Half Baked with Dave, and after that, he sold like 2 or 3 scripts to production houses, but nobody would let him direct because he didn't have a body of work. So like 8 years after our first encounter, he called my manager. He wrote like a little short film. He said I wanted Donnell to be on it. He was just doing it just so he could edit it and let people know he can direct. So I didn't know the dude was loaded at the time. So I'm all cocky. I'm like, so I know you can't afford to pay me, but if you're ever in a position where you could throw me a bone, I'll be looking for it. But I'm thinking like he's never gonna call. 2 months later, he's like, I'm working on something. And I'm like, all right, whatever, when I have time, call me back. And like a month after that, he told me that we got this show called Chappelle Show. And if I'm not mistaken, I was like one of the first actors they called to be a part of that show. Wow, and that's why when people talk all that, the people all told you, that's my nigga, that's my real nigga. I can honestly say one of the realest niggas, and whatever your definition of being a real nigga is, happen to be a Caucasian dude that's Irish immigrant. So real niggas can be from Europe too, man.
He said Irish immigrant. Wow, talking about this.
What's wrong with immigrants get paid, man. You know what? People always talk shit. I think Americans, we like the laziest people in this country, man. If you look at any story, you look at Fortune 500 and see where they're from. It's always this dude came from Portugal. He swam from Portugal to America with a fucking paintbrush in his mouth. You know what I mean? With like one bologna sandwich. 5 years later, guess what? He's Fortune 500, man. He's not trying to get government assistance. He's not trying to get food stamp. All he want to do is take a paintbrush and start a fucking business. For all you aspiring entrepreneurs out there, remember there's a paintbrush, some goggles, and a flotation device, and you can be a fucking millionaire, man.
My boy Mancini's falling out right here. But let me get back to this right here. Now this right here, a lot of y'all know this right here. Okay. Bring him on up. Now this right here, this is Ashy Larry. How did this character even come about, man?
One thing about the Chappelle Show, when we first started, Dave didn't really want to say anybody was a cast member, because they didn't want to be forced to write anything for anybody. So it's pretty much like like, what sketch have you done for me lately? If you do good on one sketch, that might give you enough foundation to go to the next one. But this sketch in particular was the first time. It was called the World Series of Dice. It was the first sketch when we had somebody outside of our little crew. Eddie Griffin was the first guest star comic. So that sketch was designed for Dave and Eddie Griffin to blow up. And when Dave and Neil originally wrote it, the guy wasn't ashy. He had the boxers, he had the dress shoes, but he wasn't ashy. But then I remember when I used to shoot dice, I used to come home, my kneecaps used to be ashy and shit. And my mother would be like, "Where you been?" She was like, "Where you been?" I was at the grocery store. Why the fuck is your knees so ashy? And I had to let her know, right? So the character was really Larry, and I told Dave and Neil, I was like, I want this nigga to be so ashy, I can write how much money people owe me on the side and everything. So I put the ash, they had the Larry, but I put the ash in it, and the rest is history. And I'm looking for sponsors for lotion. If anybody out there is into moisturizing, the ashy motherfucker from the hood.
Yo, this is J.O. Grown Ass Kids in the building. My man Jay looking so fresh and so clean. Ain't nobody dope as so.
No, that word.
So fresh and so clean.
Y'all know I was Outcast, but we're the Grown Ass Kids, and just so you know, a lot of the gear I rock, I want to say big shout out and thanks to BS Shirts. You might catch them downtown Manhattan. A bunch of other people rock it, but I got official here. Check them out. The site is crazy. Let's go.